Hey guys, it's Royal Overload and I'm here with a brand new makeup tutorial. I just love this look. It's my sunset cranberry kind of wine with a little bit of golden, I don't know what to call it, kind of makeup tutorial. It's perfect for the fall because it's still kind of dark and it's still kind of summery. These cars are messing up my intro. I don't know what to do. But anyway, I used my Juvia's Place palette, Nubian too. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, please, please. Because I want to do more tutorials and get more views and more supporters. So without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. And be sure to wait for the slow-mos at the end. So I'm going to prime my face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. So it's going to give you that flawless photo finish look. It is heavy, so it feels like you have a silky layer on, but it's going to make your photos come out flawless. Moisturize my lips with Fresh. I don't think this is going to be a talk through because the traffic is crazy right now, so I'm going to stop talking now. So right now I'm priming my lid with the eyeshadow primer from Smashbox. This is going to keep the eyeshadow on all day long and it's going to make the pigments look much more rich. So I'm just going to put this all over my lid and on my lash line, everywhere that I'm going to put the eyeshadow. I'm going to take my eyeshadow palette from Juvia's Place. I'm going to use the orange color. It's warm and beautiful, perfect for the transition shade. Now with the transition color, you don't want it to look harsh. You don't want it to look like there's a circle around it. You want it to look very faded out and smooth. And if you're doing an everyday going out look, don't make it touch your eyebrows. You want this to be more subtle, not like a costume kind of makeup look. Now I'm going in with the color Kenya. This is going to be the outer V portion of my eye. I'm going to use a smudge brush just to get that precise V shape. This is going to give it that smoked out effect whenever you do the outer V with the darker smoky color. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get the color payoff that I want. And I'm going to go back in with the orange, go back in with the brown, and blend it out with the smaller and more dense transition brush. Now I'm going to use a large blending brush for the lid, and I'm going to use the color Jezebel. This is my cranberry / wine kind of color. I'm going to pat this all over my eyes. You can use any lid brush. I chose to use this big one just because I wanted to overlap the crease. I want it to be almost all over my lid and crease, if that makes sense. This is going to give it that sunset kind of horizon kind of vibe, if that makes sense. I don't know, guys. Bear with me. And I'm going to keep going back in with the orange and the brown, just making sure all the colors are how I want them to look. And I don't want to show any harsh lines. I don't want them to look all separated. I want it to all look blended out. So I'm going to go back in over and over again. So now I'm going to take a smaller lid brush. I'm going to use this for the center, and I'm going to use the color Ya. It's YAA, I don't know how to say it. But this is so beautiful and it's so pigmented. I'm going to keep going over and over and make sure that outer edges of the centerpiece is kind of faded out because I don't want to look like I have a big square. I want it to look smooth and faded. So I'm going to keep applying, and I'm going to keep my eyes open. This way I can see how far up I want to take this color. If I want to go above that little fold in my lid or if I want to keep it there. I'm also going to go back in with the brown and the orange just to make sure there's no precise lines. Everything should be smoked out. If smoked out, I think that's a good word. But anyway, I'm going to keep going over and over until I get the desired look. And always keep your eyes open once again so you can see how far you want to take up your colors, because when you look up, some of the colors disappear. So now I'm taking my brow brush and dip brow, I'm going to wipe off the pomade on the lid and I'm going to brush out my brows. Now I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to underline my brow first, and I always go above my natural tail to create my own arch because I never ever waxed my eyes before, so this is just a step I have to do. I'm going to overline the top part and then I'm going to fill in the rest of my brows, manipulating the brow brush, holding it upward sometime and downward sometime, just so I can get the precise line. And I don't fill out the front. I just brush the product over with a little brow brush, and then I clean it up with concealer. This is gonna give that smooth line underneath the brow and on top of it. And I'm gonna let the concealer go a little bit on top of that transition color, just because I don't like when the transition color touches my eyebrow. I want it to stay very low, and I just want it to look like a normal everyday look. Now for brow number 2, I'm going to wipe off the pomade again after I applied some more. I'm going to brush up my brows, and of course I'm going to do the same thing. Still going to go above my crease with this underline to give it that lifted arch. Going to do the top line, and then I'm going to fill in doing hair-like strokes with the brush. When I do the hair-like strokes, I hold the brush sideways. When I do the bottom line, I hold the brush upward, and when I do the top line, I hold the brush with the bristles down. And then I'm gonna fill in the front a little because I do have less hair on this brow, and I'm still gonna clean it up with concealer. When I fill in the front, there's barely any pomade there, so it's almost like my brow brush is empty. This is gonna give it that faded effect. Always do the front last. And now we're just gonna clean it up with concealer. It's gonna give it that sharp finish because we didn't do anything precise in the front. The concealer is going to clean it up and make it look like we did make a line there. I don't know how else to explain it, guys, but I'm going to blend it out with my little pinky finger and my index finger just to avoid having that halo effect around my brows. And I'm also going to clean in between my brows. Even though there's no product there, sometimes the concealer travels and it gives you a unibrow effect. Not that anything's wrong with that. I'm gonna do my wing now. I feel like this is going super fast, but anyway, I'm gonna do my wing with the eyeliner. I like to use the little outer crease. I don't know what you call that. My lash line. I use that as my guide for my wing, and I keep my eyes open. This is how you get the perfect angle, when you keep your eyes open so you can see what you're doing. And then I'm gonna apply some lashes. These are from Ardell, and I'm gonna use their lash glue also. I was having some complications with this, so I kinda just deleted it from the video. You'll probably notice like one lash is all the way at the end and the other lash is in my inner corner of my eye, so I look kind of lazy-eyed. Just ignore it for a while if you can. So now I'm just brushing out any fallout from the eyeshadow that we did, and I'm gonna clean up the wing just to make it more precise. This is the only part I want precise, my wing. And then I'm gonna move into foundation. So this is the Hourglass Stick Foundation and a Real Techniques Beauty Blender. Well, I can't call it a beauty blender, right? Because it's Real Techniques. So I'm gonna call it my blending sponge. And I'm gonna blend out my foundation. This is in the color Warm Almond, and I love this foundation because it vanishes. Like it literally vanishes once you put it on, and it sets in with your skin. It's gonna look like airbrushed. It's just gonna look perfect. But anyway, I'm gonna take a little wafer break. Hey, hit him with the high. Hey, hit him with the that. So now I'm just going to do my under eye concealer with the color Toffee from LA Girl Pro. I'm going to make a narrow V, almost like a right triangle kind of V. I noticed a lot of people go all the way out with a round half circle, but we want to make sure this part of our face is narrow, at least on my face shape. So I do this V triangle kind of thing just to pull that part forward. I also push in the concealer towards my nose to make my nose appear skinnier. And then I'm just going to blend it out with my sponge. I blend out the outer edges of my triangle first, and then I go towards the inner circles, and I use my finger to just reinforce that everything's blended. Now I'm going to set the concealer with the Sasha Buttercup powder. This keeps my concealer there all day long. And I'm just going to press and roll very lightly with very little to no powder. I don't want to use the sponge, or I don't want to put a whole set of powder on my face and leave it for 30 minutes because I don't want it to look cakey. It's called baking, and I don't really want it to look like I baked under my eyes for this look. So now I'm going to do my concealer on my nose. This is going to be my contour kind of cream. I'm using the color Espresso in the brand LA Girl Pro. I just want to make my nose even more skinnier, so I pushed in the concealer, the first concealer we used, and now I'm making the shadow to kind of contour my nose, make it look a little chiseled, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm gonna also contour my cheeks. This is gonna give me a cheekbone effect because I almost have no cheekbones at all. This color is very close to my complexion, and I chose this color to make my cheekbones look more natural. If you go too dark, it might look like you drew on your cheekbone, and it might be so obvious and look all muddy and kind of like a beard almost. So I don't go 3 shades down, I only go about 1.5 shade down for this. Now I'm taking a smudge brush. This is gonna precisely blend out that contour that we did on our nose. And I like to use this tiny brush just to get that detail and make sure everything is blended out. If you don't use the right brush, it can kind of come out draggish, so make sure you use a small brush for this part. You can also go in with your beauty blender and add a little bit more of the highlight color in case you got a little messy with the contour color. Then I'm going to set it with powder because I did push concealer in towards there, and some of the contour color did move around there, so the powder is going to kind of be a little guide to show where I want the nose contour to end. Oh my god, I feel like I'm talking so much, but I really want this to be a detailed tutorial because I want to make sure I'm explaining everything thoroughly for you guys. I'm going to put some powder underneath that contour color. This is just going to sharpen it up. It's going to give my cheekbones that 3D effect. So we did the dark on top, and then we did the the highlight powder on the bottom. So now it's going to look like I have a cheekbone. Now I'm going to go with my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. This is the best, most soft, waterproof, gel finish kind of eyeliner, so everyone should get it. It's so soft on your eyes. And now I'm going to go back in with Jezebel and my smudge brush to do my lower lash line. So whenever you do something dramatic on the top, it's always important to do the same pattern on your lash line. It gives it a nice finish and more professional look. I'm going to go in with Yeah again because that's what I used on my top. And I'm going to do a little bit of mascara and move on to the blush. This blush is from Urban Decay. It's a purple pink. I was so scared to use it because it's so bright, but it actually came out pretty good with my skin. Like, it warmed up and it kind of neutralized, or whatever word I'm supposed to use. And then I'm going to go in with this Cranberry Red lip stain from Too Faced. It's called Drop Dead Red. And I'm going to put this on. I love their lip stains because it lasts like 18 hours. Girl, I could eat, drink, do anything with this lip stain and it will not come off. I'm also going to make a Cupid's bow kind of thing. I'm going to use the contour color to kind of deepen that little section in between my Cupid's bow because I like that Rihanna look. Like, she has those sharp lips and it's so pretty. So I'm going to create my own. Now I'm going to highlight with, I think this is Zuri and Sheba. It's like a gold and champagne color. This is so beautiful. Like, I love this palette. It's so creamy. So you can even use it for highlighting. You can use your fingers. It's amazing. And that's my finished look. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching.